Hello and welcome back to another video. So as you can see, it's another talking video, I know, lo and behold. So the last one I did was a bit of a downer video, or the latest one, I guess. And sadly, I think the overall mood is gonna be pretty much the same in today's video, because I haven't managed to shake said mood or push through it, I guess. It's kind of just gotten worse, to be honest. But I've been trying, I guess. I've been fighting, let's say that. I've been fighting the, I don't know, not vote, just reality, I guess. my existence not being compatible with existing at the moment. But so yeah, I mean, so what is there? So last time in the last video, I was talking about that I finished school, and that is true. I finished, well, the first year, rather, not just like generally, but for the semester, I've definitely finished school. And I talked about it in a few of the other videos, but I was or slash have been looking for part-time jobs or something like that for the summer slash maybe permanently, but yeah, that's not really gotten anywhere. To be honest, it's unrealistic, I think, for me to get one of these jobs. I mean, there's a few different issues when it comes to the availability of the jobs that they have. There's like that's in my area, I should say, and for my qualifications, which are none. The first is that there's just not really any jobs. The second of the one that are there are not feasible because of the travel, and also just because of the hours. So I can't really function in early hours, I guess. And a lot of these jobs are like 12-hour shifts, and I can't do that. Not just because I'm lazy or whatever, but I have to take medication and stuff like that for certain times, so I can't really do that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, even those, there's not that many. There's only like I think 3, and I wouldn't be able to get one of those anyway because I just wouldn't be able to get. I don't have like I don't meet the requirements, I guess, would be the correct way of saying it. But to be honest, I am not at the moment in a place where I would be, I guess, trying really hard to get a job. I just can't at the moment. Just don't have the sort of energy and willpower to go through the required steps, and then also obviously the the actual working part. I think, as I have kind of been mentioning over the course of these videos, I'm kind of struggling as it is. I mean, I was at the time trying to do more than I was doing, but yeah, that's kind of not things, as my mental state has progressed to worsen, I guess, in a way. I have been struggling to even just keep to doing the stuff that I do or try to do for on a regular basis, right? So my daily routines, I guess. Such as exercising and doing my painting and stuff like that, just and stuff around the house, right? But yeah, it's been, I don't know if I would say losing battle. It's kind of hard because kind of it is kind of like that. I've been trying to cling on to staying or keeping things going, but as I also mentioned in the other videos, I have issues with alcohol and stuff like that, so that also has not been going great either. Um, you know, um, it is. I live a very miserable life, I guess. Um, I just don't have like any social interactions or social anything really. I mean, um, I kind of just, even if though I am only 19 years of age at the moment, I've hit a place in my life where I've just resigned, I guess, resigned um, from the world, especially from other people or interacting with other people, because I've had nothing but bad experiences with talking to people, and I guess I have a knack of um, attracting that type of people. But I know that it is kind of like a negative way of, well, I guess a wrong way of thinking about it, because it's kind of drifts into a um, what's it called? Self-perpetuating um, thing, right? Where you kind of set yourself up for disaster because you believe it's disaster. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't do any like social media stuff. Like, I don't have any social media accounts apart from YouTube/Google account, and even then, like, I don't like watch any sort of like personal stuff or whatever like about anybody else. It's just like I've watched a few like gaming channels, I guess, and that's about it. And I don't really interact with the platform. Like, I don't really comment much or anything like that, because to be honest, I think that most of my views tend to be like in the minority and stuff, and I just don't particularly want to get into online arguments or anything like that. I don't particularly want to. I don't want to be negative either, so I try to keep those sort of things to myself. So yeah, so I just don't really interact with anybody at all, really. Like, I talk to my dad, but he's currently gone on holiday, so I'm kind of looking after the animals and stuff on my own. Um, so I've kind of just not been interacting with anybody. I mean, I talked to one person online, um, but it is not really interacting in my eyes, at least. Um, it's not necessarily the person's fault. I'm just not. I've become very um, self. Well, not self-centered, but like I don't really socialize. I guess I don't tend to like talk and stuff. I just don't have anything to say to people, so I just prefer not to. And then I don't really uphold conversations because it takes a lot of energy for me to interact with people, and I just don't have that sort of energy. And especially because I don't know, like with this said person, that it feels like wasted energy because I could put a lot of energy into like holding conversations and making conversations with them, but um, I end up regretting it just because it doesn't go anywhere. So, I spend loads of energy on trying to communicate with what equals to, just not really like talking to a wall, I guess could be an accurate thing to compare it to. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, so it's been kind of like that. So that's, I think, it's also been why I've been sort of not doing anything on my YouTube channel, because like I used to slash like I was into doing these funny moment videos, but I'm just not able to dedicate that amount of energy to a project, and also just I'm not feeling very funny, I guess. So yeah, so I've kind of just put that away at the moment. I also haven't been playing any multiplayer games. Again, this is more to do with, as I was saying, this sort of become an isolationist, I guess, a bit. Even online type stuff. I just don't particularly enjoy online spaces. Or games, really. I find them frustrating at best, really. So I tend to, or I've been doing mostly single player slash co-op, but then playing the co-op games single player. So yeah, so that's what I've been up to. So the kind of sad, I guess, pathetic even from an outsider's perspective, but I just there's not really any options for me anymore. So like you can try and make friends online, but I just don't have the capacity to keep on risking anymore, I guess. I'm just kind of tired with life generally, and especially like with online people, just like everybody seems to want to be friends and stuff like that, but no one actually wants to be a friend, if that makes sense. Everybody wants a friend, but no one wants to be the friend, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. Like everybody wants to have friends, but nobody wants to really put in the effort into being a friend, which is sad, I guess. I know that it's one of those things where you're never going to find anybody if you don't look. But I just don't have the capacity to look anymore. I don't have like any sort of life essence left in me for these sort of things, or anything really. That's kind of the issue, I try to keep things going, and I'm pushing through, questionably, I guess. But what you gonna do about it? Life is life, and as sadly, I have no option of not keeping to said life, I guess, because I have people that care about me, so I have to keep going for their sake, even if, you know, it's not really the sort of care one would like. You just, I would not wish to bring the amount of sadness and those sort of emotions when one prematurely expires themselves onto their relatives or anybody who has to deal with said thing. So that is that. I guess I just have to keep on trucking, for better or for worse. But yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot of like funny things I could say about this sort of stuff. I as the camera can probably show you, feeling particularly high or whatever, energized, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have any hope left for the future, I guess, which, it's kind of a bummer. But like, I'm not ignorant to the fact that, that life is not something that just happens for the most part. It's not like something that you have no control over, to an extent at least. But when it comes to this, I've just given up on people generally. I don't know, like, I keep thinking, oh, like, I could try, but every time I do try, I tend to get burnt. And I think that it's only logical that someone can only get burned so many times before they start thinking if there is not something that is about them that is the issue. And the problem is that the issue, as far as I can tell, is just me. There's not a specific thing I do, because, like, sure, there are, like, it's like, you're not supposed to be like, that, oh, I'm unlikable or stuff like that, because that is one of those things that hold you back from making friends. Because everybody can have friends, at least in theory. But it's about, I guess, I don't know if I would say initiative, but your something for sure. Your approach maybe. And also, nothing is instantaneous. You have to build these sort of things over time. The problem is that I just don't have any sort of, like, I don't do any like social things. Like, I wouldn't be in environments where there would be social interactions. And yeah, I'm fully aware that is my doing. But on the other hand, there are reasons behind my behavior, or justifications, I guess. And that is just, I don't fit in, to be honest. It's like, oh, really? You don't fit in? When somebody, like, I think when you look at people, that would probably be quite easy to guess. But I've also reached a point in my life where I used to try and blend in with others and, like, be as and descript as whatever, but that just ended up being even more soul crushing, and you end up in the same situation. So I just tried to dress and stuff, style the way I want to a lesser or more degree, extent, I guess. Now, I would prefer to dress and look more feminine than I do, but I'm just not capable of doing that at the moment. And also, I couldn't, even with the slight amount that I do go out, I think that I just couldn't deal with the sort of reaction of the world around you to that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I have psychology appointments, right? And stuff like that where I talk to the psychologists and stuff, but I don't know. The problem is that I am not sure that I really want to fix anything anymore. I just kind of am resigned in a way, which is bad because that obviously doesn't lead to any improvement, does it? But I'm just tired of trying and getting nowhere, which might seem odd given my young age, but I've been struggling with this stuff for like, I don't know, 6 years now, even more probably. And it just keeps getting worse for me, really. And externally, it also gets worse for me by interactions with the outside world and people interacting with me. So yeah, I don't know. I thought I would just make this video just to be a bit more informative about myself, I guess, and also just so that kind of, making sure that if there's someone out there that is paying attention to these videos, just to know like that I guess I'm still here in a way. I haven't like done anything like that, but yeah, I don't know. That's everything I think I have to say. There's not really a funny thing to say. I don't know. Hope you, the viewer, have enjoyed the Steam summer sale. There were some good things on discount, even though not everything was a great discount, but I think there was some gems in there. So hopefully your game was undiscounted or was on discount and you got to enjoy saving some money. So yeah, see ya.